The people need help from a storm, but who will help the people from effects of FEMA? Mike Johnson destroys them. I'm John Mike Keene. Let's get to it.
When you talk to the people who are directly affected, they will tell you that this has been an abject failure. FEMA has lost sight of its core mission, I think, in so many cases, and the administration has not shown that they were prepared for this eventuality and this terrible disaster.
That is the bottom line of this whole thing. Is the administration, specifically Kamala, though, are embarrassed by what happened with FEMA and the first Hurricane Helene as they prep for the next Hurricane Milton. FEMA is a screw up. It's an abject disaster, as Mike Johnson says. And now you have a political season where one side says this is a disaster and this shows a lack of leadership, and the other side says nothing to see here, everything is fine, how dare you politicize this. Here's Tom Cotton.
Administration seems to have no problem finding money when they want to spend it on their priorities. When they need hundreds of billions of dollars to pay off student loans for graduate students in gender studies programs, they somehow find it. When it's trying to get helicopters to deliver food and water and cellular service and life-saving medicine into these mountain valleys, they somehow can't seem to find the money.
And that's what happens is the Democrats, they have no problem finding money when it comes to excusing student loans. They can find their money where they need it. That is the politics of this whole thing. And Ron DeSantis is saying they're terrible because Kamala Harris is losing the campaign. And now they're coming out with excuses. Excuses don't buy food and bring water and help to victims.
And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything.
Kamala is a nothing. A complete non-player. Nancy Mace is trying to put a stop to FEMA money going to immigrants.
Nancy Mace of South Carolina wants to end help for migrants. She's written a bill to halt the program, but the administration pushed back on allegations that illegal immigration is draining disaster relief funds.
Just plain false. This kind of rhetoric is not helpful to people.
That's the head of FEMA hiding behind victims, saying, how dare you bring this up when there's people suffering? And that's not true. They're actually trying to help the people that are suffering. And now we've found $7 billion in untapped money from FEMA. That's what the Fox News report was about, is they've found this money. Why isn't it being used in disaster relief? Ron DeSantis with the answer.
I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games.
Ron DeSantis is here to take care of business in Florida. As the disaster hits, it is in the best hands. This is great leadership demonstrated by Ron DeSantis. He does not want to politicize this thing. He wants to help. But Kamala Harris is taking shots at him, calling him selfish, which I've seen nothing selfish from this man. What do you guys think? I'm John Mike Keene.